Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. ADHD is when an individual has difficulty focusing on something without being distracted. It is also when they have difficulty in controlling what he or she is doing or saying and is less able to control how much physical activity is appropriate for a particular situation. Adults with ADHD who carry a particular version of a certain gene have thinner brain tissue in areas of the brain associated with attention. ADHD interferes with school and home life. The person may be hyperactive and unable to control their impulses or trouble paying attention. Boys are more than twice as likely to be diagnosed with ADHD than girls. ADHD is the most common neurobehavioral disorder diagnosed to children. The average age of diagnosis is at 7. Research points to a very strong genetic link that children who have parents or siblings with the disorder are more likely to have it. A strong genetic basis and child with ADHD is 4 times more likely to have a relative who was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder. ADHD was first mentioned in 1902 when British pediatrician Sir George Still described an abnormal defect of moral control in children. ADHD was not recognized in the first APA edition. Second edition, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder, was published in 1968, and that edition included hyperkinetic impulsive disorder for the first time. APA released a third edition of Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder in 1980. Scientists believe hyperactivity was not a common symptom of the disorder, so the listing created 2 subtypes of ADD. They changed the name of the disorder from hyperkinetic impulse disorder to attention deficit disorder, ADD. The APA combined the 3 symptoms, inattentiveness, impulsivity, and hyperactivity, into a single type and did not identify subtypes of the disorder. APA then released the 4th edition of DSM in 2000, and they established the 3 subtypes used by healthcare professionals today. Cases of ADHD began to climb significantly in the 1990s. A few factors behind the rise in diagnosis was 1. Doctors are able to diagnose ADHD more effectively. 2. More parents are aware of ADHD and are reporting their children's symptoms. And 3. More children are actually developing ADHD. As the number of cases rose more and more, medications to treat the disorder became available. Today, scientists are trying to identify the causes of ADHD as well as possible treatment. Globally, the U.S. Census Bureau estimated in 2013 that children aged 18 and under estimated 7.2%. In the United States, 9.5% of children ages 4 through 17 were diagnosed with ADHD. By age group, 2.7% were 4 to 5. 9.5% were 6 to 11, and 11.8% were 12 to 17. By gender, 13.3% were boys, 5.6% were girls, and by race or ethnicity, 11.5% were non-Hispanic white children, 8.9% were non-Hispanic black children, and 6.3% were Hispanic children. In the same study, they found an increase in ADHD diagnosis from 7% in 1997 to 1999 to 10.2% in 2012 to 2014. In the National Survey of Children's Health 2003 to 2011, 5.1 million children, or 1 in 11 children from 4 to 17, have a current diagnosis of ADHD. Nevada has the lowest rate of 4.2%, and Kentucky has the highest rate of 14.8%. People with ADHD often have trouble making and keeping friends, difficulty reading social cues, and problems learning social skills. They also have trouble controlling their behavior and emotions, as they may be very physical or aggressive and react angrily or inappropriate when upset. U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved Benzedrine as medicine in 1936. He stumbled across some unexpected side effects of this medicine the next year. Patients' behavior and performance in school improved when they took it. FDA approved psychostimulant Ritalin in 1955, and it became more popular as an ADHD treatment as the disorder became better understood and diagnosis increased. This medicine is still used today to treat ADHD. Atomoxetine, clonidine, guanfacine. Parent and teacher training and effective behavior management techniques aimed at reducing the problem behaviors associated with ADHD. Also, CBT is a skill-based approach commonly used for adults with ADHD. We can respond in positive and supportive ways. We can take the time to listen to them as much as you really can and really try to get the message. We can comfort them with hugs because they need a lot of physical contact, and we can also look for and encourage their strengths, interests, and abilities.